With the She-Hulk series coming in hot, it's worth going back and looking at her history in the comics, for both the new fans and the old. So why don't we look at the top 10 most powerful She-Hulk variants over the years. At number 10, we have the Ghost Rider She-Hulk, who just gives us one more reason not to mess with her. This version of the hero is outfitted with a Terminator-like aesthetic, sporting a massive machine gun and utility belt with grenades and all. But of course, anyone who knows what the spirit of vengeance brings will know that she's also got some pretty powerful upgrades other than her weaponry. With the penance stare, She-Hulk can stare down her enemies and force them to feel all the pain that they've ever inflicted on anyone else. Although it does seem like the massive machine gun will do more than enough to inflict pain on our enemies for this variant. The only reason why she's held back on this list is because this variant only makes a very brief appearance, so it's hard to gauge her true potential. Before we keep going, leave a comment now guessing what variants you think the rest of the list will include. I'll do my best to answer you and we'll see if we have a similar list. Alright, let's keep going. At number 9, we have the Zombie She-Hulk from Marvel Zombies. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Any powerful variant list should include the zombie version of the character because what comes with zombification is a pretty undeniably impressive power set. The ability to turn others into fleshy allies with one bite and the benefit of virtual immortality only add to She-Hulk's already powerful abilities. It's no contest for the rest of the superhero community when Zombie She-Hulk comes around, and she actually proves to be one of the more dangerous zombies in all of Marvel Zombies, which I don't think comes as a surprise to fans of the character. At number 8 is Shulk. On Earth 9200, we see a version of She-Hulk from a dystopian future where a nuclear war has wiped out much of the population. And since She-Hulk gains her power from gamma radiation, this event proves to be bittersweet for the hero who gains a massive power boost from it. Known to be simply more powerful than her 616 counterpart, Shulk brings a whole new power stat to the character that seems to be boundless. This is because, unlike her typical form, Shulk's powers seem to increase the angrier she gets. More of an unhinged and volatile variant, it's hard to put a cap on Shulk's power potential, so she had to make an appearance on this list. At number 7 is Thor She-Hulk. This variant is pretty self-explanatory. It's She-Hulk if she wielded the power of Thor and his mighty hammer Mjolnir. Although she doesn't appear for more than just a page or two in the sensational She-Hulk number 50, it's important to consider every She-Hulk variant for what they are. And we can gather by the way she's displayed in this artwork that she's become a cosmic level hero. And a She-Hulk with the power of Mjolnir serving as a champion of Asgard only strikes me as a stronger version of the hero than most others on this list. It would be interesting to see what would happen if the variant were to be given more of a storyline, because we might just witness one of the most powerful versions of the hero ever. But I had to hold her back a bit just because we haven't really been given the chance to truly explore what her capabilities would be. At number 6 is Immortal She Hulk. This entry could also be considered the Earth 616 She-Hulk because it's technically the original 616 variant who gains immortality. When She-Hulk is given a set of powers derived from the one below all, she gains the ability to return from the dead, but not just as she was before, even stronger than her previous living form. Because when those who pass through the green door, the one below all mutates the subject and returns them to Earth. What this does is it sets She-Hulk into a never-ending loop of empowerment, which basically sets the potential power for 616 She-Hulk at nearly unlimited. There are also endless feats that 616 She-Hulk has undertaken, which comfortably lands the original variant at a decent spot on the list. At number 5 is Ultimate She-Hulk. In the Ultimate Universe, aka Earth 1610, we're introduced to ultimate versions of nearly every hero. But one that stands out among even the most powerful of ultimate variants is Betsy Ross's Ultimate She-Hulk form. The more volatile and self-serving nature that Betsy Ross brings to the table gives Ultimate She-Hulk a big power boost. She's more comfortable with taking bigger risks in not just combat situations but in social situations as well. And this cunning she possesses, matched with her impressive regenerative healing factor, makes her one of the most competent variants of the character on the list. At number 4 we have the Misstro. This variant doesn't have a huge presence besides her initial appearance, but a variant is a variant, and this future version of the hero is geared up, to say the least. Appearing as the ghost of She-Hulk's future in a Christmas Carol style dream sequence, the Misstro seems to be holding Captain America's shield in one hand and an Asgardian hammer in the other, with a massive sword on her back. What's more, her armor on one arm seems to be derived from that of Iron Man, with a fantastic Thor belt around her waist. Although it's hard to pinpoint exactly what this variant has achieved, it's pretty clear that it suggested she's bested most of the Avengers and taken their equipment for her own, which, if that's true, is more than enough to give this variant a very high spot on this list. At number 3 is Red She-Hulk. When Betsy Ross becomes Red She-Hulk on Earth 616, she becomes powerful enough to pose a major threat to She-Hulk, as well as the Hulk himself. Along with most of the same abilities as the original She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk possesses the power to fire energy blasts on command, which gives her a long-range stat as well as the option to inflict energy damage on her opponents. But aside from that, she's also got these claws that are strong enough to cut through the skin of the Hulk and She-Hulk, which is extremely uncommon considering how durable their skin is known to be. At number 2 is Gray She-Hulk. This version of the hero is a personification of all of Jennifer Walters' depression and anxiety, rendering itself into a mass of anger and rage that is nearly impossible to contain. And this variant has some history as well, appearing as far back as Sensational She-Hulk number 15 back in the early 90s, where she's depicted alongside a group of demons that seem to be her allies. But the transformation that should mostly be focused on is after Civil War II, when She-Hulk seems to fall into a decline of mental health. And with this decline comes a massive boost in power that also makes this variant totally volatile and less intelligent, which gives her a level of strength that puts her up as a fair contender against heroes like Captain Marvel, which is a matchup that puts this variant high on this list on its own. Finally, at number 1 is Winter Hulk. During the World War She-Hulk story arc, She-Hulk is captured by Red Guardian and the Russian Winter Guard, where she is transformed into the Winter Hulk. The first time we see this variant is in 2021's Avengers number 47, and even just looking at her, you can tell that she's gonna have a power boost over her original variant. Despite her brainwashing, she's also given the ability to travel underwater at depths that would probably kill any other non-oceanic hero, and she also takes out masses of Atlantean soldiers while she's down there, proving that Winter Hulk's powers have the potential to go far beyond her typical abilities. But the biggest trademark of this variant is the blasts of powerful green fire that she can emit from her mouth. There are also hints that this variant was empowered by Dracula and his army of vampires in Chernobyl, so if her fire breathing and deep sea capabilities aren't enough, there's a chance that this variant might also harness immortality. Alright, that was the list for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any other variants of She-Hulk that you think I missed or misplaced, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer you as always. This has been Top 10 Nerd and I've been your host Ben Ball. You know the rest. Take it easy.